So we're talking about the mind. We're going to talk about the next couple of videos on this. So the mind, then, we need to do three things in order to work with the mind. The first thing is we need to set a real intention for it. You know, if we don't set an intention, then it's almost like that it doesn't have a focus. Then you see the underbelly of it. And what we're seeing today is in the age of anxiety, we're seeing a lot of people overthinking, over anxious, so stressed out, and there's so many options, and they really just need to get very clear about, well, what is it that this is about? And so we get into the negative mind, and the negative mind is obsessive, it's narcissistic. It's like we're looking in the pool of like the narcissistic myth. There he is. He's looking in the pool at himself, and he falls in love with himself. And then the myth ends there. No, the myth begins there. He falls into the pond, and he goes into the depths. He starts exploring. Okay, what am I really built for? What is this territory really about? And he starts to come up with and sit quietly and start to realize, if I work with the mind and the body and the soul, I can really access that. So then I have medicine, or I have treasure, or I have bounty, or I have some sort of gift for the village, or gifts, plural, for the village. So the first thing is we need to get this mind focused, right? The second thing is we need to learn how to befriend the mind. I want to say to you, people come to me and they say, okay, how do you do that? You talk about befriending the mind. Everything is about friendship in life. We have to learn how to befriend ourselves before we can befriend the other on the outside. It's self and other. It's always self and other. It's always that courageous conversation. So how do we befriend the mind? Well, the first thing I want you to do is to just throw in the towel. Say, okay, I'm done battling you. I surrender. Just surrender and say, okay, I'm going to do something different. I'm not going to battle. I'm not going to try to get into that image of what I'm supposed to look like, looking in this pond, looking in this mirror, getting obsessive. And, again, you get negative mind here, right? So we want an intention and focus. We need to say, I need to learn how to befriend. So I want to ask you a question. Let's say there's 3 things that you can do to befriend your mind. What are they? Just call on that courageous self inside of you that knows how to do this. Our courageous self is the part of us that is just in our heart that just knows how to do this, knows how to travel here, and knows what a good vehicle actually looks like, so that we can get into the depths every morning and the heights of what our vision is, so that we can then bring our heart forward, right, into and travel really well as we're getting across the ocean to Hawaii. We've got our rudder in, we've got our GPS, we've got our map, we've got a good boat, we've got a good vehicle, we know how to get there now, right? So I'm not talking about getting a new Dodge or a new Ford or a new Toyota. No, I'm talking about this vehicle needs to be upgraded. So ask yourself, I surrender, I need to befriend my mind. What do I know for sure that I need to do to befriend that, to befriend my mind? Because so many people are intimidated by that. The third thing is that we need to do is to focus on 3 things. Once we have a vision, we need to be able to discipline ourselves, right? You need to have discipline. You need to also have discipleship. You need to become a disciple, a student to that vision, and learn and follow the signs. So I'm going to say the 3 Ds here are disciple, being a discipline, hardly read my writing, discipline, discipleship, and then you also need discernment. We're going to talk some more about these 3 words, but they're really important. These 3 parts are down here. These are the 3 things I'm going to say to you that you need in order to be able to focus and find your way to Freedom Mountain, your Hawaii, if you will. You need the discipline to get to the gym of the mind, body, and soul every day. You need to be a student and learn. Say, okay, I'm curious, I'm open. How do I get there? How do I befriend my mind? And then I need to be able to discern between what fits with this vision and what doesn't. You need to be able to distinguish. You need to be able to discernment and distinguish are old words for wisdom. Wisdom is what works. You're not going to get an old putt-putt boat, go all the way, think you're going to get all the way to Hawaii. No, you need to have a good vehicle. It may be a sailboat. It may be a motorboat. You know, it may be a cruise ship. I don't know what it is, but it is a vehicle that you need to determine. And that is this system that is the vehicle. Okay, so you got this. These 3 things I want you to really remember as we get started on this. And if you have any questions about this is befriending the mind, then let's send me an email. Let's get started on a dialogue about that. We'll see you next time. We're going to wade in some more into self-care and the mind. Thanks for joining me.